Hey there, this is Jeff with missionmusician.com, and I want to start a series called How to Get More Depth in Your Mix. Excuse me. I was email corresponding with a fellow producer, and we were going back and forth about different ways to get depth in your mix. And I started thinking about the different ways I use different things to get depth in my mix. You can use EQ. You can use compression. Compression is actually a really cool way to get depth in your mix. And then obviously reverb and delay as well. Now, this short video here is going to be on using EQ to create depth in your mix. And what I want you to think about is envision in your head someone speaking really close to you, and as they move farther away, what happens? Well, what usually happens is, like if I was to speak in this mic and then slowly pull away and get further and further and further away, what happens is the top end and the bottom end go away. As I get closer, the top end and the bottom end become more clear. So just by using EQ to roll off the top end and the bottom end of something, you can make it seem further away or further back in the mix. And when you're mixing, you should find, we have pan pots for moving things left and right, but we don't have pan pots to move things from front to back. Now, obviously, you want your vocal to be up front, your kick, your snare, and your bass. Those instruments all usually are up front. They don't sit back in the mix. Now, background vocals and stuff like that, yeah, of course, they sit back in the mix, but I'm talking about lead vocal. And you don't really have a snare and the kick sitting back in the mix, at least not in a like modern rock song or hip-hop song or songs like that. They're not usually pushed back. Now, maybe in the jazz genre, maybe a little bit. But so we can use EQ to push things further back in the mix. And so I want you to think about your mix as you have your upfront stuff, your vocal, your kick, your snare, your bass, and then you have the next level behind that, and whatever that may be, and then another level behind that. And what you want to do is create depth. You want to push things back. We want to trick the listener into thinking that our mix is really deep. And we can use EQ and compression and reverb and delay, and then we can push things really far back with reverb and delay, with a delay going into a reverb, I should say. So today I just want to show you a couple of very quick examples of this. And let's start with the kick drum. Now, you would never want to push a kick drum back. It usually, I don't know, I don't want to use the term never. But usually you don't. You want it up front. So let's see here. So all I've done is filtered off the highs and filtered out the lows. All right. And I want you to listen how the kick is up front and in your face when I play it. And then when I bypass it, it kind of pushes back. And yes, the volume is dropping, but that kind of happens like if I was talking to you and I walk further away, the volume would decrease along with the high end and the low end. So let's listen really quick. Let me turn this up a little bit. I think I can. I think I don't have automation on it. I just have to remember where it was at. Let's try this again. So you can feel it push back and get further away just by rolling the low end and the high end off. And, actually, let's just leave the high end in. Let me get the original sound here. Let's bypass this. So I feel it push back. Now, granted, I'm listening on headphones, but I feel it push way back. And that's one way you can get depth in your mix, just by rolling off the lows and rolling off the highs. And sometimes what I'll do with a background vocal when I want to push it back is roll off the highs of it. And that helps to push it back. Let me put this back where it was. Somewhere in here. All right, let's go to the snare drum. And again, we're going to do the same thing. All right. I'm going to turn it up. So you hear how that pushes back? Obviously, you wouldn't want to do that to a snare drum either, right? But let me get this back to where it was. Somewhere in there. I'm not sure what this is. All right, and let's go to some background vocals here. See if I can find them. All right, so they're right about it. All right. Hear how that pushes back? So these aren't really up in your face anyway. I've kind of tamed these down. But just by putting a high pass filter on and rolling it pretty far up, you can hear how it goes away. All right, so this is just one way, and I really wish that I had a vocal singing along, a double-track vocal on this song. I don't, so I could really show you how I could push the vocal back, but maybe I'll come up with something in the next video. The next video, I'm going to show you how to use compression to create more depth in your mix, and that's pretty cool. Most people don't think about using a compressor for that, but it's actually a great way to push things back in the mix, and you just have to use the attack knob on the compressor to do that, and I'll show you that in the next part of this series. So thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.